Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Givarat Hari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Givarat Hari Gopi Janavallabha Givarat Hari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Janavallabha Givarat Hari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Do Jayam now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya So we're studying today Canto 11, Chapter 12, Verse 8. So I used to be a Sanskrit teacher, so I'd like to do this just a little differently. We'll do the word for word first. And I'm also going to do phrases. Do the word for word, then find short phrases, and we'll do those phrases. And then you'll understand what you're saying. if you don't already. So, scroll down to the word for word. Thank you. Yam hum na not. I can't hear you. Yogena. Again, louder, louder. Yogena. And I know I'm going to do the word for word first. Oh, it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on verse 9. Wind changed the page. I'm sorry. Okay. Kevalena by unalloyed. Loud, loud. He indeed. Ishavena by love. Kevalena, Kevalena hya bhavena Gopya, the gopis, Gava, the Vrindavan cows, Naga, the unmoving creatures, Mriga, other animals, Gopye Gavo Naga Mriga, Gopyo Gava Naga Mriga, yea, those, louder, louder, on yea, others, Mudhadiya, Mudhadiya, with stunted intelligence. Nagaha, Vrindavan snakes, such as Kaliya. Ye mudha dyanagaha. Ye madha dyonaga. Siddha, achieving perfection. Siddha, achieving perfection, the platform of life, the perfection of life, achieving the perfection of life. Mam, to me. Q, they went. Anjasa, quit easily. Siddha mam, cure Anjasa, Siddha mam cure Anjasa, Kevalena hi bhavena, Kevalena hi bhavena, Gopyo Gava Naga Mriga, Gopyo Gavo Naga Mriga, Ye Madha Dhyanaga, Ye Mudha Dhyanaga, Siddhamam chur anjasa. Siddhamam chur anjasa. Kevalena hi bhavena. Gopyo gavo nagamriga. Yenye mudhadyo nagaha. Siddhamam chur anjasa. Kevalena hi bhavena. Gopya gavo nagamriga. Yenye mudhadyo nagaha. Siddhamam chur anjasa. Others, please. Valena bhavena. Gopyo gaho nagamriga. Degivo vyanaga. Siddhamam chur anjasa. Miralena bhavena. Gopyo gavo nagamriga. Yenye mudhadyo nagaha. Anjasa. Ivalena hi bhavena. Gopyo Mataji's Prabhu's. Kevalena hi bhavena. Gopyo nava magamaga. Ye mudho diyo nagaha. Siddhamam chur anjasa. Kevalena hi bhavena. Gopyo gavo nagamriga. Yenye mudho diyo naga. Siddhamam chur anjasa. Kevalena hi bhavena. Gopyo gava nagamriga. Yenye mudhadyo nagaha. Siddhamam chur anjasa. Kevalena hi bhavena. Gopyo gavo nagamriga. Yenye mudho vijasaga. Siddhamam chur anjasa. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhayacharana Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the gopis, cows, unmoving creatures, such as the twin Arjuna trees, animals, living entities with stunted consciousness, such as bushes and thickets, and snakes, such as Kaliya, all achieved the perfection of life by unalloyed love for me, and thus very easily achieved me. I say, you say. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the gopis, cows, unalloyed, unmoving living entities. Animals, living entities with stunted consciousness, such as bushes and thickets, and snakes, such as Kaliya, all achieved the perfection of life by unalloyed love for me, and thus very easily achieved me. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the gopis, cows, unmoving creatures such as the twin Arjuna trees, animals, living entities with stunted consciousness such as bushes and thickets, and snakes such as Kaliya, all achieved the perfection of life by unalloyed love for me, and thus very easily achieved me. Purport by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada ki. Although innumerable living entities achieved liberation by association with the Lord and his devotees, many such personalities also executed other processes such as austerity, charity, philosophical speculation, and so on. As we have already explained, such procedures are secondary, but the inhabitants of Vrindavan, such as the gopis, did not know anything except Lord Krishna, and their whole purpose in life was simply to love Krishna, as indicated here by the words Kevalena Hipavena. Even the trees, bushes, and hills, such as Govardhan, loved Lord Krishna, as the Lord explains to his brother, Sri Baladev, in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10.15.5. Oho ami deva varama rachitam padam bhujante sumana palarhanam namancha upada shakabhir atmanas tamopayukyai tarujanma yatkritam. My dear brother Balaram, just see how these trees are bowing down with their branches and offering obeisances to your lotus feet, which are worshipable even by the demigods. Indeed, my dear brother, you are the Supreme God, and thus these trees have produced fruits and flowers as an offering to you. Although a living entity takes birth as a tree due to the mode of ignorance, certainly by such a birth in Vrindavan, these trees are destroying all darkness in their lives by serving your lotus feet. Although many living entities achieve the mercy of Lord Krishna by associating with the Lord and his devotees in various ways, those who take Lord Krishna as everything are situated in the highest process of spiritual realization. Therefore, the Lord has not bothered to mention in this verse those who achieve perfection through mixed processes, but rather glorifies the unalloyed devotees of Vrindavan, headed by the gopis, who knew nothing but Lord Krishna. The residents of Vrindavana were so satisfied in their relationships with Lord Krishna, they did not pollute their loving service with mental speculation or fruitive desires. The gopis served Lord Krishna in the conjugal rasa, or relationship, whereas according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the cows loved Lord Krishna in Vatsalya love, or the love of parents for a child, because the cows were always supplying milk to child Krishna. Unmoving objects like Govardhan Hill and other hills and mountains loved Lord Krishna as a friend, and the ordinary animals, such as trees and bushes of Vrindavan, loved Lord Krishna in Dasya Ras, or love of a servant for his master. Snakes like Kaliya also developed this love in servitude. And after relishing the loving service of Lord Krishna, all of them went back home, back to Godhead. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, all those inhabitants of Vrindavan should be considered eternally liberated souls, expressed by the word siddha, which means having achieved the perfection of life. So in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Maneshu, of all men, among many men one may achieve perfection. Manushyanam hi siddhanam kaschin Sanskrit is eluding me at the moment. Krishna is the source of remembrance, knowledge, and also forgetfulness. So he doesn't want me to remember. Old brain. But he's saying among thousands of men, Nushanam Sahasreshu, hardly one endeavors for perfection. And among such perfected men, hardly one knows me in truth. Kaschin mam veti satpata. So what is this knowing Krishna in truth? Well, by jnana, we all know, because we have a little faith, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even a little child may know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There was one pastime, Leela, where Prabhupada was with his household of devotees speaking, and he asked one of the little girls who Krishna is, and she said, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, even a little child. And because she was associating, because she was born of devotees, very, very auspicious birth, and was always associating with Srila Prabhupada and the devotees, she must have had some realization. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matha sarvam pravartite. Iti achimatva bhavante bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. The thoughts of my devotees dwell in me, and they're always enlightening each other, parasparam, among each other. So in the association of devotees, it's pretty easy, or much easier, to remember Krishna, who he is, and how he is the source of the energy of the sun, which is being transformed into electricity which is spinning, is actually Krishna's energy, not different from him. But when we go out into the material world, a little more difficult to see that everything is Krishna's energy. I know I got off the bus and I had been working on my computer. I was very tired. And in my confusion, I forgot to get my luggage out of the bus, covered by the mode of ignorance. But the bus drivers, because they've had knowledge of how to deal with old men and how to treat devotees, they came over and reminded me, you forgot your baggage. So they're controlled by goodness and also because their affection for Krishna. But others who are bustling by you and pushing you out of the way, they are not so fortunate. So we are the most fortunate. You especially, the residents of Bharatvarsha, of India. What is that? You're the most fortunate. And Lord Chaitanya's instruction is that you all should spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. This is the special blessing that Krishna gives us. To see just one pure devotee from India, how he spread Krishna consciousness throughout the entire world. You're devotees of Radha Govinda? Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda, Jai Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Shri Prabhupada. So, for the most part, very few residents of Bharatvarsh are going out into the world outside of Bharatvarsh and spreading Krishna consciousness. But imagine what it would be like, how quickly the world would be transformed if more and more fortunate residents of Bharatvarsh were to go and spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Lord Chaitanya's mission, his external mission, was to spread Krishna consciousness and to give pure love of Krishna, prem bhakti, to everyone. And the more he distributed that prem bhakti, the more it grew and increased. Of course, for Lord Chaitanya, although it may be termed or appear external, he was in the mood of distributing the mercy of Radharani. Just if we preach, we all experience that if we preach, then our realizations, personal realizations, also increase. When we are hearing ourselves preaching Krishna consciousness, Hare Krishna, we're also hearing this Krishna consciousness most completely. We're not always very completely absorbed in hearing Krishna consciousness from others. I know my mind wanders like anything. Even when I'm chanting before the deities, my mind wanders. But when giving a lecture, I have to hear, I have to understand everything I'm saying. So when we preach Krishna consciousness, we have to hear everything and understand and realize everything we are saying, and that is so sweet. And the more that we realize the absolute truth, the more we realize that those to whom we are preaching, they are also Krishna conscious living entities. We're all also Sat Chitananda. We are not separate from Krishna. The yogis and others, they are trying to become one with God, but they don't realize Krishna never sees us as separate from himself. We cannot become one with God because we are always one with God. We are his eternal parts and parcels, and our absolute eternal nature is to serve him with love and devotion. But because of our reluctance to do so, we have come to this material world. Actually, originally and for the greater part of existence, the material world does not even exist. There is no such thing as the material world in Vaikuntha or in the Krishna Loka. But gradually, over the course of time, even though time there is present only by the absence of its effect, somehow the living entities, the marginal living entities such as ourselves, we develop some separatist desires. Krishna is enjoying, we want to enjoy. We're thinking, I want to enjoy something that is not really entirely meant for Krishna's service. Because we are marginal souls. And as this builds up, eventually it becomes time for the material manifestation to take place. So that Vaikuntha spiritual sky, although it is infallible, yet within it there develops a great cloud of the Mahatattva. And the Lord first calls for volunteers. It's time for the material universe again to manifest. Would any of you like to come and serve me there? Help me in my pastimes there? And many, oh yes, it's so nice in Vaikuntha, Lord, but if that's your desire, yes. Anywhere you want to place me in the material world, I'm your servant. Such great souls, the Nitya Siddhas, such as Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and so many others, and especially the residents of Vrindavan. If Krishna is going to the material world, oh, I can't be without Krishna. I am going. And there is some kind of special taste here in the material world that is not experienced in the spiritual world, and that is time is infallible and progressive. In the spiritual world, if we want to play with Krishna in Vrindavan, or if the gopis want to offer garlands to Sri Krishna, their beloved, they can do so forever. They can be offering forever. Or if they want, they can go back and be making the garlands forever. They can be dancing with Krishna forever. But here in the material world, there is the progressive march of time. The gopis, by the Lord's infinite love for them and their infinite love for him, they were dancing with Krishna in the moonlight for the length of one night of Lord Brahma. All around them, time was going on, progressing, but there, for them, time was the equivalent of one life of Brahma. But still, even though they were completely absorbed in this blissful dance of love, they were cursing Lord Brahma because of blinking and for a fraction of a moment not seeing Krishna. And they were in great anxiety because they knew the nature of night here in the material world. The day will come and destroy the night. So they were feeling this anxiety, and therefore they were relishing each and every moment of their association with Krishna with such great intensity. More intensity, more and more. And this is not available in the spiritual world. There's no possibility of anything ending ever. If we desire to move to another place, we're there. We don't have to wait to get there. Here we have to wait. We all want pure love of Krishna. That's what we are endeavoring for. But we have to wait. And that waiting is a source of anxiety. And we are in great danger because we are within the material world, and there is every possibility that even one who appears to be the most advanced soul may become implicated again in this material energy. Just as we saw when Srila Prabhupada left, many of his leading devotees, leading disciples, became entangled in the material energy. Partially because they were being given so much fame, adoration, and distinction, and had now so much power, Maya had a really good opportunity to grab hold of them. Most of us didn't have that to worry about. We're already covered by Maya's energy. But she has the throwing potency by which she throws us in the material world, and the covering potency by which she keeps us here, covers our consciousness. So also the demons who are opposed to the spread of Krishna consciousness, who do they aim at first? They aim at the leadership and the most vulnerable. They aim at the leaders and the most vulnerable. So the most vulnerable were the children. And they suffered, and we all suffered for it. And the leaders, the attack of Maya on them was increased so much. And Srila Prabhupada in his Vapu was not available to call them, here, come here, and rescue them. Of course, we associate with the spiritual master in two ways. By Vapu, his direct personal association. Actually, everyone in this world had the Vapu of Srila Prabhupada. They didn't know it, but he was on the planet with them. And they had the opportunity, therefore, to get Back to Godhead magazine, or a book, or hear the chanting of Hare Krishna, or taste some prasadam. But the other association is far richer, far sweeter even, and that is the Vani association. The Vani association. So all the residents of Vrindavan, when Krishna left, they were still having his Vani association by remembering their pastimes with him. They were always remembering their pastimes with him. Not like us. I know when Prabhupada came to Los Angeles, I was still new devotee, maybe 1 year in the movement. I was tasting such great bliss and sweetness chanting Hare Krishna in the temple room while Prabhupada was in his room. Never experienced anything like that in my entire life, before or after. Such sweet, compelling, all-absorbing bliss that didn't want to do anything else at all, ever. That is the constant mood of all the residents of Vrindavan. We're in the spiritual world, we are so completely satisfied. We never have any idea of doing anything else. And his internal energies and the Nitya Siddhas, they have no desire to do anything else at all, ever. But we, as marginal entities, through the course of eternal time, have that possibility. Often I would think, it doesn't seem fair, because his internal energies, they never, ever are at risk of becoming covered by the material energy. Nor are most of the marginal energies, because of their unalloyed love of Krishna. But we obviously were at risk, and so for most of us we took birth in this material world. Not all of us in the families of pure devotees. So is it fair we can suffer and forget Krishna? I would debate this with it doesn't seem fair, Lord. It must be fair. You must have a good reason for it. But I don't understand it. But then as I was giving class here in India, because I'm Srila Prabhupada's disciple, otherwise I have no qualification whatsoever for giving Srimad Bhagavatam class, especially to such great souls as yourselves. I was beginning to realize that even the little marigold flower, wonderful little flower, so simple, has such a nice, sweet scent. Prabhupada said it had the original fragrance of the earth. And very pretty little flower, very simple little flower from a very humble plant. It has something special that even Radharani does not have. The utter simplicity and the independence. If that soul so desires, it has the capability of not serving Krishna with love. That seems very sad. But then it also has the capability of serving Lord Krishna with pure devotion out of its own separate, individual, independent, minute desire. Very special. So Krishna loves that so much. And also, there has to be a choice. It can't be always Satchitananda. Everything is always Satchitananda, eternally knowledge and bliss. There has to be something else. Why it's always Satchitananda? We living entities in the spiritual world who may have been thinking like that. There has to be choice. Not I love you because I'm made that way. I'm eternally, I can't do anything. Can't even think of anything else. Those are his internal potencies. But we marginal entities, we love Krishna by the mercy of our Guru, and because we are developing the desire. We are developing the desire to do nothing other than to love and serve Krishna with all of our minds and hearts. It's a very wonderful desire. So it's very special. One time I heard a story that Srila Prabhupada was lecturing and one woman had come. She had no money, anything to offer. So she picked a marigold, I love marigolds, from one of the marigold plants outside the temple. And she brought it in to offer to Srila Prabhupada. And the devotee who told us this, curtains are going to close. The devotees who told us this, he said, Prabhupada wanted that flower so much. He wanted it so much. It was so special. This tiny little flower. That is the gift that we have in our marginal potency, our marginal nature, to give to Krishna. We surrender fully to Krishna. We give up everything for Krishna. But what do we get? We get Krishna. As they surrender unto me, ye yatam mam prapadyante, tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. Just as they serve me with love, I serve them with love. If we become completely bound to Krishna by love, Krishna becomes completely bound to us by love. It is the glorious nature of pure devotional service that the infinitesimal living entity captures the infinite Supreme Personality of Godhead by his love. And the Supreme Lord is compelled by his love to give himself completely, or appears completely, to his disciple. Actually, Sri Krishna in his Vrindavan Leela, he told the gopis, your love for me is so great, I can never reciprocate with it. How is that possible? That Krishna cannot reciprocate with the gopis' love? Because the gopis give up everything and anything else. They are devoted only to one personality, who is all personalities, and everything in relationship to him. Simply, solely, 100%, Turiyameva Kevalam, only totally absorbed in Bhagavan Sri Krishna's pleasure, not even their own, simply his pleasure. But Sri Krishna cannot do that, because he's reciprocating with everyone. Of course, when he was with the gopis, he forgets even that he's God. He thinks he's just a young boy enjoying with his friends and girlfriends and parents and all the in Vrindavan. It's so sweet that he even forgets that he is Krishna. It's like when the cowherd boys were playing with Krishna in Vrindavan, they smelled the sweet aroma coming from the Talavan, the palm tree forest. Just yesterday, someone gave me a tala fruit. I'd never tasted before. It's very sweet, wonderful little fruit. They'd cooked it in ghee. So the cowherd boys, they wanted to relish that. It's not possible. But they reminded Baladev that, Lord Baladev, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Certainly, if you desire it, you can go there and chase away all those stupid ass demons, and everyone can enjoy the fruits there. Of course, later they completely forgot. They completely forgot. They loved him. They didn't care who he was. Prabhupada says, not that I will love you if you're God, then I will love you. No. They forget that Krishna is God. Prabhupada was once asked, what if Krishna is not God? He said, then we will love him anyway. We will love him anyway. A living entity may wonder every day, is Krishna really God? Am I really doing the right thing? Is the spiritual vision of this material world actually the truth when the scientists are telling us something different? One may feel that every single day. But if he's well versed in Krishna consciousness and has done some devotional service, every single day he will come to the proper understanding. By the mode of ignorance, we are sleeping. We are sleeping in this material world. But Krishna is coming. Wake up! Jeev Jago! Jeev Jago! Jeev Jago, Lord Chaitanya is calling. Every morning he's going into the village. I am your dear friend, I'm your best friend. Come, wake up, come to me, and we will enjoy eternal love with that wonderful, sweet cowherd boy, that rascal, that lovable rascal. So wonderful. The highest bliss, Paramananda. Nothing can compare. So every day we're getting Mangalarti, and falling out of bed. I know when I was on traveling Sankirtan, sometimes I would wake up, we can serve Krishna again today, But we're not always experiencing that. But we, out of duty or out of love, will come to Mangalartik. So I think I've spoken over my time. So are there any questions? Anyone has any questions? Yes? No one has any questions? Come on. All right, if you have no questions, that means you fully understand. Right? You fully understand. Remember that. Understand. You fully understand. Anyone has any comments or corrections? I make mistakes. Or additions. Anyone? You have some addition, correction? Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Someone closer to him, he can repeat it. Oh, there's a microphone? Bring him the microphone. Yes. What is your name, Prabhuji?
My name is Aravinda Gopal Das.
Thank you.
Very nice class, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Can you tell some of your remembrance of Srila Prabhupada?
Yes, I love, it's the best part of lecturing. The one that always comes to my mind first is we had traveled from Miami across the United States to Berkeley. Well, first to Los Angeles, and then to Berkeley. Papa was going to Berkeley, so we were going to Berkeley, traveling Sankirtan, distributing books along the way. So we pulled up to the Berkeley Temple, and lo and behold, who pulls up right behind us? The car was Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada, and we get out of our cars, we tumble out of the van, standing there so excited, and Prabhupada comes out of the van. And I was thinking, I should offer my obeisances, but it had been drizzling. It was drizzling, and the pavement was wet. So it's not that we were reluctant to get wet, because we were performing Sankirtan at the street lights. Not such a pleasant place to be most of the time. So getting a little wet, that wasn't anything. But I was thinking, my garments may get a little dirty, and going to the temple wouldn't be so nice. So just at that moment, one devotee, he took his, in some parts of India they call it charter. This wrap that you have on. What is it called here? Huh? Someone could tell me? Uttari. Thank you. Uttari. He took his uttari and he laid it down before Srila Prabhupada rolled down. And Prabhupada looked and said, "What is this? What is this?" He said, "So you won't get your feet wet, Srila Prabhupada." Prabhupada said, "That is why I have shoes." And then the devotee said, "But Srila Prabhupada, I've already laid it out in front of you." And Prabhupada said, "So, because you are such a fool that you have done this, does that mean that I should be such a fool as to walk on it?" So he stepped aside and walked around it and went into the temple. So I was realizing, one of the things I was realizing was that by hearing his reciprocations with his other disciples, I never had much of his vapu, but by hearing about his reciprocations with those other disciples, I was also getting his instructions and association. He had answered by this activity my question what should I do had been answered. So therefore we're always relishing not only Krishna's pastimes, and not only Prabhupada's pastimes, but also the devotees, our fellow godbrothers and god nephews and god parents and god grandparents. Relishing these activities, kantayantascha mam, parampara, among each other. There's parampara, knowledge which is coming from the Supreme and distributing amongst us. And then there's parasparam, knowledge that's coming just from within us or below us even. So we want always, or can also just mean within each other among pure devotees. But we want the parasparam of pure devotees, or the parampara, which is descending by the mercy of the Lord. Therefore we want to avoid prajalpa. One time, are there any other questions or comments? No. I'll tell this one last thing. One time Srila Satsarup said that they were, Prabhupada and his disciples were sitting together and they were in Italy. And Srila Prabhupada said, the women of Italy, they're very beautiful. They have very beautiful long black hair. And Satsarup, in his general humility and steadfastness, he said, Srila Prabhupada, Krishna has black hair, long black hair. And Prabhupada said, we are talking about Maya. Why are you talking about Krishna? But then he said, yes, no, actually you're correct. And Srila Satsarup Maharaj asked him, then whatever, if we are engaged in some Maya, we should somehow or other introduce Krishna into our consciousness, into our activities. Yes, Srila Prabhupada said, that is correct. So there are no more questions, any more comments? You have a comment? Over here. Did I answer your comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Now you are saying that many Prabhupada disciples were there who were in the leadership positions, but after a certain time they fell away.
They fell away.
Now,
I was one.
Now, Prabhupada started the movement, and that movement with this small handful of devotees he have to spread throughout the world. And that was a big task. And after that, whatever there in the Bhagavatam and whatever there in Bhagavad Gita, whatever there in Prabhupada lectures, and devotees have to chant 16 rounds also, maintaining their standards and push up preaching through many places. So definitely to maintain all those things in a short span for a single person or individual is not an easy thing.
It's only one?
It's not an easy thing because
not an easy thing, no. Unless you're pure devotee.
All the sadhanas, all you have to follow the rules and regulations, and then you have to preach. And preaching requires some that extra, something like passion is required. Now, if those devotees drifted from their positions, that means we can say that for their that immature state, it is not their fault to be drifting away, because the age is the factor, the youth age is the factor, then so many responsibilities are the factor, and maturity takes time. So we can say that drifting for certain from their positions, it might not be as a fault from their point, because
Prabhupada says if he comes back, then his fall down was accidental. His disciples once asked him, how do we know if someone comes back, if someone's fall down was accidental? And he said, if he comes back, then his fall down was accidental. We all fell down from the spiritual world. was traveling with Srila Satsarup for some time, distributing books and getting his association every day, practically. And he was the person least likely to fall back into the material energy. We all felt like that. And yet even he had some difficulty. After he was risen to that exalted position, was getting so much fame and surrender and adoration. He felt praying for a while. So how much more we should be very careful. I like going to other temples because I am often given such fame, adoration, and distinction as Srila Prabhupada's disciple. And I love to lecture. I've had more realization lecturing than any other time. But I have to be careful. Not to let it go to my head. It's only by Prabhupada's mercy. I know for a fact because when I'm not engaged in that way, my mind comes back with so much absolute nonsense. We dream at night, absolute nonsense, right? Especially if you're oversleeping, then the dreams really become nonsense. Any more comments? Thank you. No questions? Means you understand. No comments? Means we're all totally satisfied. Well, very good. Thank you very, very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hari Hari Bol.